వెల్కమ్ టు రా టాక్స్ Krunchtv. I'm Shravani. మనం ఉన్న ప్రెజెంట్ తెలంగాణ అండ్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్లో రియల్ ఎస్టేట్లో ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేయాలంటే ఎలా చేయొచ్చు, ఎక్కడ చేయొచ్చు, అసలు రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ అంటే ఏంటి, హౌ డు యూ పర్సిఫై రియల్ ఎస్టేట్, అంతేకాకుండా బ్రాండింగ్, సేల్స్, మార్కెటింగ్, లీడర్షిప్, వాట్ నాట్, అసలు ఇదంతా ఇన్ని సెక్టర్స్ నేను చెప్పాను కదా, వీటి గురించి మనం ఒక ఒపీనియన్కి రావాలంటే, ఒక రీసెర్చ్ చేయాలంటే ఇట్ టేక్స్ అ లైఫ్ టైం. బట్ మన దగ్గర ఈరోజు నా ముందరున్న ఒక మనిషి దీని మీద లాట్స్ అండ్ లాట్స్ ఆఫ్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఆల్రెడీ గెయిన్ చేసుకొని సక్సెస్ఫుల్గా బిజినెసెస్ రన్ చేస్తున్నారు. హీ ఈస్ హియర్ టు టాక్ టు అస్, గివ్ హిస్ నాలెడ్జ్, educate us on the number of factors. So let's welcome Mr. Rajiv Williams garu. Hi sir.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you here.
Thank you so much.
It's great to meet you actually. You're a very inspiring personality. నేను చూస్తున్నాను అసలు మీ వెబ్సైట్ కానీ మీరు చేసే వర్క్స్ కానీ ఇట్స్ రియలీ ఇన్స్పైరింగ్.
Thank you so much.
సో రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ మెంటర్ చాలా కొత్తగా ఉందండి అసలు ఇది వింటుంటే కూడా. అంటే రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ తోటి ట్యాగ్ అయ్యి చాలా విన్నాను నేను, ఎక్స్పర్ట్, రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ స్పెషలిస్ట్. బట్ మెంటర్ అన్నది సంథింగ్ చాలా కొత్తగా ఉంది. అసలు ఏం చేస్తారు మీరు?
రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ మెంటర్, మీరు ఇప్పుడే మాట్లాడిన దాంట్లో you've heard about, probably heard of a broker,
yes,
ఛానల్ పార్ట్నర్,
చాలా
కన్సల్టెంట్, అడ్వైజర్. చాలా మంది ఇవన్నిటిని ఒకే పద్ధతిలో అనుకుంటారు. బట్ ఈచ్ ఆఫ్ దెమ్ హ్యాస్ అ సెపరేట్ జాబ్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ or a role that they play in a real estate transaction, in the fulfillment of a transaction. Some, let us say, at a client ending, some at a builder level, some at a facilitator level, let us say in finance or investment banking or facilitation, ilanti sectors lo. Each one of these roles are connected to the roles they play. A mentor per se encompasses all of these. So I basically help real estate developers set up their sales ecosystems right from the start to the end. So it's right from project feasibility to their branding, to their corporate communication, to their competitive analysis, market analysis, how to hire, how to train their sales professionals, how to set up their corporate communication, and basically provide a good experience to the end user so that when they visit the project and when they experience all that the builder has to offer, it is a win-win situation for everyone in the ecosystem.
Correct.
So the builder benefits, and if there is an agent or a broker in between who has brought the client for a showing, and if he is able to impress the client with that product, as in a home in this scenario, so that channel partner benefits, and in the end it's the consumer who benefits.
Correct.
So let's just say I am a person who makes sure that everybody in the real estate ecosystem benefits. So that's what I do.
అసలు ఒక బిజినెస్లో ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయంటే మీరు చెప్తుంటే నా మైండ్ బ్లాక్ అవుతుంది. బట్ ఐ అండర్స్టూడ్ దట్ న్యూ ఏజ్ రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ ఆస్పిరెంట్స్కి మీరు ఒక తోడుగా, అండగా, నీడుగా నిలిచి వాళ్ళకి ఎలా చేయాలి ఏంటి అన్నది చాలా నేర్పిస్తారంట అని అర్థమైంది మీ కాన్వర్సేషన్లో నాకు. రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ బిజినెస్ స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి అంటే మీరు ఒక మనిషికి కావాల్సిన మెయిన్ క్వాలిఫికేషన్ ఏమంటారు? బికాస్ ఇప్పుడు మనము ఇండస్ట్రీలో రావాలి అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీడియా చదవాలి, అంటే మాస్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ చదవాలి, డాక్టర్ అవ్వాలంటే MBA చదవాలి. సో ఇట్లా మల్టిపుల్ థింగ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. కానీ నేను ఎప్పుడు రియల్ ఎస్టేట్కి ఒక ఎడ్యుకేషన్ సపరేట్గా ఫిక్స్ అయ్యి ఉంది అని వినలేదు. సో ఐ జస్ట్ వాంట్ టు నో, అసలు ఐఎమ్ క్యూరియస్ టు నో.
Very nice question. Actually, ఇప్పుడు most people think that real estate is very easy, quick money, ఎవరైనా చేసేవచ్చారా రియల్ ఎస్టేట్లో ఏముంది అని. అండ్ ట్రెడిషనలీ there's no entry barrier, right? Anybody can enter into real estate, and the degree of variability of good versus great versus, or if I say bad versus ugly, the variance is too wide. Because one, there is no proper qualifier. Of course, there is a RERA, where a broker is supposed to have a license. He's supposed to register himself, and that qualifies him to do things within the compliance of the government. And he's recognized. So most probably a real estate regulatory authority, RERA of India, that license provides a certain amount of credibility to a person who owns that license. But there are most people who are into real estate from ages ago who don't have that license or any form of accreditation. మోస్ట్లీ రియల్ ఎస్టేట్లో ఎట్లుంటుందంటే మాకు తెలిసిన వాళ్ళు ఎవరో చేస్తున్నారు, వాళ్ళు ఎవరో చెప్పారు, మేము ఫోన్ చేసి పోయి చూస్తే ఓకే పెట్టాము, దాని తర్వాత వీ డిడ్ ద ట్రాన్సాక్షన్. హౌఎవర్ దేర్ ఇస్ అ సిస్టమాటిక్ వే ఆఫ్ అప్రోచింగ్ అ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్. So ఇప్పుడు in the question that you've asked me, what I advise to people who want to enter into real estate, or how to buy a property or how to qualify a property, first you have to analyze what kind of uh, portfolio you wish to hold, what kind of what do you call investment you wish to do, where or what is the need, and then you backtrack it. And if you want to get into real estate, first of all, what kind of skill sets do you possess, right? Communication, mindset, ability to learn, a student mentality. So for anything for that matter, as I said, you first understand your end goal and you backtrack it. So there, if I say what are the key essentials that one needs to get into real estate, is first of all a student mentality. You always have to be learning and upgrading yourself with the latest trends, the market conditions, the political conditions, the socio-economic conditions, taxation, right? The banking rules and regulations. There are so many aspects. So if you have student mentality, you get that check. Second, you have to have the ability to communicate in a transparent and trustworthy manner so that people can understand what you are trying to present to them, right? It could be, it doesn't always have to be English. तेलुगुలో చాలా బాగా మాట్లాడొచ్చు, हिंदी में बहुत अच्छा बात कर सकते हैं. आपको बस आपके प्रोफेशन के बारे में सारी जानकारी होनी चाहिए और उसको सही मायने में सामने वाले को प्रेजेंट करना चाहिए. तीसरा, आई थिंक यू नीड टू हैव अ वेरी स्ट्रांग माइंडसेट, right? Consistency and discipline is something that most of today's generation lacks, I would say openly, because everyone is after your attention, right? The entire platform is after attention. So how do you maintain your
Dedication.
consistency, dedication, focus in trying to do something repeatedly for long enough so that you succeed at it? There's this very famous quote by Jack Ma. I live by it. Today is difficult, tomorrow is much more difficult, day after tomorrow is easy, most people die tomorrow evening, right? So how long does one need to go before they see success, right? So consistency and discipline is, I would say, a check number 3. 4, I would say, constantly you have to have the penchant to network. You have to keep meeting new people. Go ahead and
PR పెంచుకోవాలి.
you అంటే it is it's coexistent and codependent with the ability to learn అనుకోండి, because you learn by sharing. Once you share it with someone, you become better at it. And so when you network with new people, you learn what they are offering.
Correct.
And you
Sharing
also
and
give.
asking. Correct.
It's two ways. So every time you meet someone, like, you are giving out something, in return you're definitely going to gain something. So network is something also that is very, very important if you wish to be successful in real estate. And the 5th quality, which I would say in today's era, which I just mentioned, you have to have a very strong personal brand and a social media presence. Because the ability to meet one person at a time versus the ability to communicate with multiple people at a time, it can only happen on the mass platforms that we have: Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta, Twitter, X, YouTube, Google My Business. So one needs to make sure that they understand that all of this is not just mere tools for distraction, but how to use them properly. So for anyone who wishes to enter into the real estate industry, and if they want to create a strong niche for themselves, they need to be able to understand that it's a long time game and it's consistent, and you have to be very, very mentally strong to be able to handle the highs and lows that come along with it. And if you need any help with that, then there are many people here to help you, not just me in the industry. However, it's a performance driven platform, right? You have to perform. It's like an artist, a violinist, a dancer, right? If you say I know how to dance, I will only know if you dance. If you say I know how to play a violin, I will only know if you play a violin. So sales is pretty much like that. If you say you're very good at sales, pretty much in this conversation, when you speak with me, at the end of it, you will understand that, okay, the way I communicate, the way I handle your questions. So all these things are very essential. So if you feel this is something that you would like to do, then I welcome the youth to definitely, next time someone says, "Are పెద్దగా ఏం చేస్తావురా" అంటే రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ ప్రొఫెషనల్ అవ్వాలని ఉందని చెప్పి, that is what I'm basically trying to create here. I want to make sure that real estate is looked up to as a career option.
Good. అర్థమైంది.
Someone says డాక్టర్ అవ్వాలి, ఇంజనీర్ అవ్వాలి, బీటెక్ అవ్వాలి. ఐ థింక్ టుడే ఇస్ ద జనరేషన్ ఆఫ్ నేను యూట్యూబర్ అవుతా, రైట్?
ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్సింగ్ యూత్. అవును.
సో నేను నేల్ ఆర్టిస్ట్ అవుతా, నేను యూనో ఐ విల్ ఆన్లైన్లో నేను ఐ వాంట్ టు డూ క్యూ కామర్స్, రైట్? ఐ వాంట్ టు సెల్ లైవ్ కామర్స్. I was listening to someone, you must have heard about this popular online global influencer called Gary Vaynerchuk. So he's talking about the next era of social media selling is live commerce. Like you go on your live chat, and there's this one lady in China who made $8 million in 2 days or something. She just opens stuff and moves, opens stuff and moves out like that. So even retail is changing because of social media. So people need to know how to use all of this to create a strong place for themselves in the real estate sector. So that is a message to all those who want to enter the real estate industry.
ఓకే. సో ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఎనీథింగ్ ఆన్ దిస్ మ్యాటర్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్యాక్ట్, ఈ బిజినెసే కాదు, ఏ బిజినెస్ స్టార్ట్ చేయాలన్నా కూడా ఫస్ట్ దాని గురించి నాలెడ్జ్ ఉండాలి, రీసెర్చ్ అన్నది బాగా చేసి ఉండాలి. దట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ద ఓన్లీ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద గేమ్, రైట్? యాజ్ యూ సెడ్, ఇప్పుడు మనకి సోషల్ మీడియా ప్రెసెన్స్ ఉండాలి, కమ్యూనికేషన్ స్కిల్స్ ఉండాలి, టీమ్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ ఉండాలి, అండ్ యూ షుడ్ బీ ఏబుల్ టు యునో థింక్ స్ట్రాంగ్ ఎనఫ్ టు బీ డెడికేటెడ్ ఎనఫ్ టు పర్స్యూ ద పాత్ in a long period of time. So when I say long period of time, how long is that? ఒకటి. అండ్ ఇంకొకటి ఏంటి అంటే, యూ ఆల్సో నీడ్ లీడర్షిప్ క్వాలిటీస్ ఫర్ దాట్, రైట్? సో ఒక్క మనిషిలో ఇవన్నీ సాధ్యం అవుతాయా? బికాజ్ ఇప్పుడు కొంతమందికి డాన్సింగ్ ఇష్టం అంటే డాన్సింగ్ మాత్రమే ఇష్టం. ఇప్పుడు డాన్సింగ్ ఏజెన్సీస్ నేను స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి అంటే నాకు సోషల్ మీడియా గురించి తెలియాలి, కమ్యూనికేషన్ స్కిల్స్ ఉండాలి, లీడర్షిప్ క్వాలిటీస్ ఉండాలి, ఒక టీమ్ని ఎలా మేనేజ్ చేయాలి ఉండాలి, ఇన్ని ఒకళ్ళలో ఉండాలి, ప్లస్ డెడికేషన్ ఉండాలి, ఫ్యామిలీ నుంచి సపోర్ట్ ఉండాలి. అంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ లైక్ ఓకే, కొట్టిపడే రాబాయ్, ఇంకేమైనా చూసుకుందాం అనే థాట్స్ మాత్రం డెఫినెట్గా వస్తాయి. సో అది, వాట్ డూ యూ హ్యావ్ టు సే అబౌట్ ఇట్?
One thing, as you rightly said, it is a double-edged sword actually. You need to be focused on one thing. At the same time, you need to be aware about everything.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
You need to have a niche, but you need to know how to present, communicate, deliver, execute, plan, strategize, lead, hire, train, coach. So clearly it is not easy.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. The plate will be overflowing.
Overflowing, yes, with information, but more so the very mention of these aspects sometimes creates an overwhelming impact on someone, and that's what you just said. And they are like, they give up even before they start.
Correct.
So that's why by principle it is not everyone's cup of tea.
Correct.
So if you understand, if you look, there's a reason they say 1% club, 2% club, right? How many of you, the 5 a.m. club, how many people, what time do you wake up?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. So you're the 7 a.m. club. So I wake up at 4:30, right? 5. I have 3 alarms. They don't let me sleep. And even on a Sunday morning, I let those alarms ring. See, point is, you should create self-checks and self-balances. So if I know that this is the only thing, so I know real estate. I know real estate like nobody else. Nobody understands real estate better than the way we perceive it. So I have that belief system. I mean, I'm not saying it. That's self-talk, right? So I believe that if I need to be the best person at real estate, I cannot slack. I cannot take it easy. So when there is no other option or there is no other distraction, you keep going at it. So when you ask me how long, however long it takes, because the goal is to master the art, right? In this particular ecosystem of becoming the master at what you do, you have to keep going at it. If you feel that 2 years అవుతుంది, ఏం కావట్లేదు, 3 years అవుతుంది. See, you must have heard this interview of Thyrocare, founder Velu Mani garu, right? He's like so impressive with the logics and punches he throws. So he said that initially he had 2 lakh rupees, so many months of spare money to take care of his family and his needs. See, something like that. So suddenly, so the thing about real estate is nobody chooses real estate as a career.
అవును.
They do something. They probably don't succeed at it, or suddenly they get distracted at it, or real estate is a byproduct of it, right? You would hear the same thing from bankers and insurance agents also. They do something and eventually they all come to real estate. It's like a career progression plan. So if you're a banker, you become a realtor in the end. If you're an insurance agent, you become a realtor in the end. So in this whole gamut of how people reconnect everything to this industry, So today, having all these qualities is something that people pick up. These are life skills. And selling and sales is not something like a profession, it's a life skill. Leadership, you have to be able to impress upon people, build trust, talk about credibility. You know, what is real estate? Real estate is all about, selling a vision, selling a particular story, a narrative, and just make sure that you are walking on that path.
Maybe sometimes the immense passion that you hold towards it is what that matters.
Of course, absolutely. See, I always believe you need two things to run a business. One is passion, the second one is acumen. Right? You could be very passionate, and if you don't know how to run your business, passion is not going to pay your bills. Passion is not going to keep your employees happy. Passion is not going to help you in hiring the right people. You need acumen to know who are those people who are going to help you get the dream. Like you have to get, they say, no, a great team makes the dream work. A team works makes the dream work. So it's something like that. So you need the acumen to drive your vision forward. And again, I would say it's not for everyone. At the same time, it's not a blanket statement. You decide today, it's done. It's all about a mental shift, and you need immense amount of resilience and grit and consistency, and those things at your core. At your core, you pick up anything. You pick up anything. Like you can't become a national level dancer or a Olympic level shooter or a javelin thrower. It takes, go behind and look at the story, go behind and look at the purpose. So if you find out your why, and if your purpose is strong enough, so the question is like how long, however long it takes, right? So that is my statement on that.
చాలా జనరలైజ్డ్గా మాట్లాడుకున్నాం, బట్ నౌ సార్ ఐ వాంట్ టు నో యువర్ స్టోరీ. హౌ డిడ్ యూ ఎండ్ అప్ స్టాండింగ్ హియర్? బికాజ్ ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఇన్స్పైరింగ్ పర్సనాలిటీ అవ్వాలంటే ఇట్ టేక్స్ అ లాట్. సో యాజ్ వీ స్పోక్ అబౌట్ హౌ మచ్ ఎవర్ టైం, ఎంత టైం అయినా పట్టని నేను ఇది చేస్తాను రాబాయ్ అని డెడికేషన్ తోటి ఉండే మనుషుల గురించి మాట్లాడుకున్నాం. బట్ వన్ ఆఫ్ దోస్ మ్యాన్స్ ఇస్ బిఫోర్ మీ. సో ఐ వాంట్ టు నో యువర్ స్టోరీ. హౌ డిడ్ ఇట్ ఆల్ స్టార్ట్? వేర్ డిడ్ ఇట్ ఆల్ బిగిన్?
The beginning of this discussion, you had mentioned that I was doing so much, and I'm so successful and all of that. I don't think for a person who's an entrepreneur or a business owner, I don't think one can ever say that I have achieved what I wanted to. Right? You always hit one goal and then you perceive to the next level. You always go to you hit that level and then it's the next. So today, if you tell me how I'm able to do this, I don't really think I have achieved so much in life in regards to where I thought I want to be. Right? I am very far from my goals, what I personally have set for myself. So we are constantly a work in progress. So if I look back on how I got into real estate, I would say it was a mere calling. There was no one who, I would say, introduced me to it, or not someone who mentored me in the initial days. I mean, of course, right now I have some very respectable people in the industry who I go to when I need some help. But most of the times it's the other way around. So when this particular time, several years ago, I was doing an assessment. Rajiv, what are you good at? Like you need to have a self-check.
Correct.
So I was like, Rajiv, you communicate fairly well, and you are confident, and you have a basic of these few qualities. So this suits that industry. So you build on it. And then I also happen to be trained in a lot of IT tools. I did .NET and Java initially and all those things, but yeah, I never pursued that as a career because I never saw myself as a guy sitting behind a laptop and doing that. So I was more of energy and get things moving and get things done. My mindset is get things done. So it's like if anything takes 10 days, I would say now it has to be done now. So I'm an ardent follower of Elon Musk right now. Correct, right.
Aaj kare
So,
so ab.
so back then, when I would say how I've landed here, I think it was sheer identification of my skill sets, honing my skill sets, knowing what I'm good at, and I built on it. And I guess I kept going. And this is my 15th year in the real estate industry. And I believe I have a good 20, 25, 30 more. Before I pick up any of those hypertension or diabetes or anything. No, yeah. So right, I would say I'm on a mission. So it's like if someone asked me, Rajiv, what do you want? Like how you asked me, I said, I want real estate to be looked at as a career option filled with trustworthy individuals who play their part to help everyone.
That is your ultimate goal.
That's my ultimate mission. I want to make real estate look good, like how do I say, the kind of credibility a lawyer or a chartered accountant or a banker or a doctor holds. I want to see real estate there. Right? You have a family doctor, you have a family lawyer, you have a family chartered accountant. So I want people to start believing in the concept of having a family realtor.
సో సార్ ఆన్ దిస్ నోట్ ఐ వాంటెడ్ టు ఆస్క్ యూ దిస్ క్వశ్చన్. మనకి ఇప్పుడు మనం ఏఐ గురించి మాట్లాడుకున్నాం, వీఆర్ ఆన్ దిస్ ఏఐ జనరేషన్. సో గూగుల్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఫస్ట్ సగం బర్డెన్ అనేది మనకి తీరిపోయింది. లైక్ ఏ రీసెర్చ్ అన్నా కూడా చాలా ఈజీ అయిపోయింది. అండ్ ఇంకా చాట్ జీపీటీ వచ్చాక ఇంకా అసలు అడగాల్సిన అవసరమే లేదు, మనం ఏం అడిగినా కూడా క్విక్ రిప్లైస్ వచ్చేస్తున్నాయి. సో హౌ డూ యూ థింక్ ఇస్ దిస్ ఎఫెక్టింగ్ ఎవ్రీ ఇండస్ట్రీ, రియల్ ఎస్టేటే కాదు ఎవ్రీ ఇండస్ట్రీ ఎలా ఎఫెక్ట్ అవుతుంది అన్నది ఒక క్వశ్చన్ నాది. అండ్ ఆల్సో how do you think is a real estate mentor or anybody is needful when we have this AI?
AI will not replace people. AI will replace people, those who don't use AI. Okay. So as a mentor, I encourage people to upgrade themselves by doing these courses that are so many influencers on Instagram and LinkedIn. They do these AI courses, performance marketing courses, little analytics, LinkedIn analytics courses, right? One constantly needs to keep upgrading. So if I am saying that sir AI వచ్చేసింది కదా మీరు ఎందుకు అవసరం అనేది, see the one beautiful aspect of AI, the one thing that it can never replace is the human emotion. Right? It can emulate human emotion through text.
లాంగ్ రన్ లో కూడా అంటున్నారా మీరు?
Of course. I mean, I see Tesla making robots, right? Yes. Tesla can never care for that robot can never care for your baby like a human could.
అవునవును.
It could emulate.
అవును.
Right? When you fly a plane, you are in a simulator. You can simulate a plane. But flying a real plane is a world different from sitting in a cabin and sitting on something where you know you have another chance. You may at most fail, but when you fly a plane and you fail, you have 300 lives who died with you. So AI is definitely a performance enhancing tool. It's not a counterintuitive tool to a teacher or a professor. So a teacher who uses AI is more efficient than one who doesn't. A designer who uses AI who's more efficient with his designs than one who doesn't. The military, in understanding patterns, in understanding some aspects of warfare, a department of strategy that uses AI is much more efficient than one who doesn't. So today when you ask me how does a mentor stand chance against the evolving AI, so let me just say that someone who is smarter and cognizant of the information that goes into that, to understand who the end user is who's going to benefit out of that. So that person has to be smart enough to understand what information needs to go into AI to be able to then help someone who needs that information. So you always have someone who's mentoring and supporting the AI ecosystem also, right? So today if you ask AI some defense secrets, it will not give you. If you ask AI for some top class classified information, it will not give you. Why? Shouldn't you have complete information about our enemy nation's internal data?
TNC applied.
So how much information is being given at what level of classification, the beginner level, mid level, exit, all of this will be driven by one particular strategist or a group of individuals, a mentor or mentors or strategists. So I would rather say that all the mentors and strategists and coaches out there should definitely use AI, because don't worry, AI is not going to take your job. But AI is definitely going for all those jobs which people are not cognizant enough to use AI or add AI to their portfolio. In fact, even I was considering to do an AI course of in leadership and generative AI. So much I keep hearing. So I thought so it is this curiosity that one needs to have to add AI to their portfolio. But if you are saying that AI will replace not all workforces, but AI will replace those workforces who are not AI enabled.
Okay, but then there is an often belief that um, the the credibility of a person is affected when he or she is using AI. Do you think that matters? Like, if let's say we are applying for a job, and somebody there asks, do you use AI for your work? So if they say yes, I do AI, I do use AI, వాళ్ళు ఏమనుకుంటారంటే ఏఐ యూజ్ చేస్తావా, ఇంకా నువ్వు చేసేదేంటి, నువ్వు చెయ్యట్లేదేమో సరిగ్గా పని అనే ఒక బిలీఫ్ ఉంటుంది. అది కరెక్ట్. ఏఐ యూస్ బికాస్ యూ సెడ్ ఏఐ యూస్ చేస్తే ఇంకా ఎన్హాన్స్ అవుతుంది మీ స్కిల్ అండ్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు యూస్ ఏఐ అని చెప్పేసి అంటున్నారు. సో దిస్ ఇస్ వన్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్ అండ్ దట్ ఈస్ వన్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్. సో హౌ డు యూ జస్ట్ కంక్లూడ్ ఇట్?
So, very smart question, and it is also a challenge that most people are facing. People are discredited and they are disregarded, right? However, ask those people, what do they care about more? Is it about how I get the job done, or is it the result? If the result is desirable as per their expectation, then why do you care how the job gets done?
Correct.
That is one way to look at it. Second, to have a specific outcome in your mind and to be able to know how to approach it with minimum effort. Why? What is IoT?
So it's just a smart move to get a desirable result.
What is IoT? What is home automation? What is EV, electrical vehicles? What is One Touch? What is voice commands? What is Alexa? What is Siri? Why did we reduce human effort and applaud it there when we are reducing human effort here and condemning it here? Why the hypocrisy? So people need to understand that a person who's able to understand the prompts, to be able to get the machine to understand you and give the desired outcome, is that not all we are here for? Is that not the entire end game on what result or what outcome we are trying to drive? So if a person is going to discredit your effort, like for example, if I most of the time it happens with professionals and experts out there. I spent 15 years to master my skill. I may solve your problem in 5 minutes. You don't pay me for the 5 minutes. You pay me for my 15 years.
Correct.
Right? You pay me for the time that I spent in mastering that skill to be able to learn to do it in 5 minutes. So today, if I'm able to give you your desired output, let us say as a designer or a content writer or someone, an editor or someone, అరే ఏఐలో వేసి తీసేసాడు కదరా అంటే, you need to know how to do it. Like one person doing that job in 4 hours, or you want that person to be able to do that job in 20 minutes. What will you reward? So our reward system, our perceptions, our understanding around this new facet of AI that has entered all our lives. Yeah, if I'm able to get the work done faster, then I'll do more work, na?
Correct.
Think about that. Correct. If you are thinking that you are going to pay me more for doing a 5-hour task in 1 hour, so I'm going to spend the 4 hours in doing 10 more tasks, na? So don't try to justify my worth because I can do something faster, better, quicker, whilst satisfying the achieved output. So I think it is a matter of perspective, and I think that interviewer who asks you this question should go back and do an AI course. Because the next thing that's going to happen is the bot is going to shortlist skill sets and probably that person's job is at risk.
సో అయితే నాకేమనిపిస్తుంది అంటే, ఇప్పుడు మన ఎడ్యుకేషన్ సిస్టమ్ గురించి మనం చూస్తే, జస్ట్ లైక్ యూ సెడ్ 15 years మీకు అండ్ మనకి ఇప్పుడు నేను కూడా ఈ పొజిషన్కి రావడం ఆర్ సంథింగ్ ఎవరైనా కూడా ఇప్పుడు ఒక పొజిషన్లో ఉన్నారంటే మనకి ఒక ఏజెస్ పట్టాయి మనకి అది నేర్చుకోవడానికి, రైట్? సో ఇప్పుడు ఏఐ వచ్చింది, ఇంకొంచెం స్మార్ట్గా చేస్తోంది. సో డూ యూ థింక్ ఈ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ సిస్టమ్స్ మనకి స్క్రాచ్ నుంచి నేర్పించడం కాకుండా ఏఐ నేర్పిస్తే హౌ టు ఆపరేట్ ఏఐ, హౌ టు ఎన్హాన్స్ యువర్ స్కిల్, ఒక స్కిల్ సెట్ మీద మనము ఫోకస్ చేసి ఏఐ యూస్ తోటి నువ్వు ఎలా డెవలప్ చేసుకోవచ్చు అన్నది నేర్పిస్తే మేబీ దట్ విల్ మేక్ మోర్ వాల్యూ ఫర్ దెమ్ ఇన్ ద మార్కెట్ టుమారో. కిడ్స్కి, ఈరోజు కిడ్స్కి.
That is an eventuality, Andy. See, if you understand, kids these days, when you watch YouTube, right, that algorithm knows that you are watching the same video, so it sends similar content.
అవును.
Your algorithm, your tastes define your algorithm. Kids are exposed to this from a very young age. Now, as you grow, the cognizance of the need for predictability and starting off kids from a younger age, definitely all this is going to enter the school education system in the coming years. 100%. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised in some of the foreign countries. It might have been some course that can be induced from 6th grade or 7th grade. But the point is, maybe, it just maybe not be a great idea to induce it at the early stages, because in that case we will be generating a whole generation of some very smart kids, maybe who are not physically active, or maybe who become lazy, who don't want to adapt hard work. We need a proper mix of our education system and knowing when to induce AI. So probably 6th grade or 7th grade or something, but definitely, as you said, it is going to be a part of many curriculums. And I think most of these, Udemy, Upgrad, and Scalar, I think many of these institutes are already offering diploma courses on AI. And I think, so I have a 11-year-old son. I think I would next month or next summer, I would try to tell him, beta, just do some course. So formal introduction of AI into the education system versus the availability of AI to anyone is already there. So AI is an open source and is available to everyone. So it only matters whether you want to get on it or not. Whereas if you're trying to say that is it going to enter the formal way of education and upskilling, definitely it is going to. It's just a matter of time.
అది సో ఈవెన్చువల్గా ఫైన్ అవుతే కొంచెం
You can't escape
దెన్
it.
కరెక్ట్
You can't escape it.
కరెక్ట్
Whether, so if my son doesn't want to learn AI in school or at home, he's going to be exposed by that technology so much around him that he will realize that he has to get on board.
అవునవును.
You either get on board or you get off. It's only two ways to it.
కరెక్ట్. సో నేను రీసెంట్గా ఒక ఫినాన్షియల్ అడ్వైజర్ తోటి పాడ్కాస్ట్ చేశానండి ప్రయర్ టు దిస్. సో ఆయన ఏమన్నారంటే సమ్వేర్ ఈవెన్చువలీ బయింగ్ అ ఫ్లాట్, బయింగ్ అన్ అపార్ట్మెంట్, బయింగ్ అ హౌస్, ఓనింగ్ అ హౌస్ ఫర్ దెమ్ సెల్వ్స్ ఇస్ బికమింగ్ అ డెడ్ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ ఏమో అనేసి అన్నారు. సో వాట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు సే అబౌట్ ఇట్?
See, it basically depends on the purpose of investment, Andy. If you are investing for ROI, like if you have some surplus funds, or if you are building a portfolio, like I have insurance, I have some mutual funds, I have SIPs, I have stocks, and then I have investments in gold, I have land, I have, so your entire investment portfolio is built with several asset classes. So if you feel that you want to invest in land and lock it up for 5 to 10 years, and real estate is usually a long time game, and if you feel that you want to just invest it and leave it, then over a period of time, after 10 years, real estate is the only asset class that is inflation proof, which as an average of grows around 12 to 14 to 15% a year, whereas your other asset classes can be impacted by inflation, which is usually around 7 to 8% per annum. So your asset has to grow more than 7 to 8% per annum by default. Real estate is the only industry that checks that requirement. So today, if I would, and also some long-term capital assets also, investments in SIPs, if you hold it for long enough, it beats that average. However, if a person is buying a property for personal use, so it holds emotional value. It is solving a problem. So if I ask you, what is your most troubled thought when it comes to buying a home, and if you have 10 problems and I'm solving 9 of them, doesn't that make you happy? Maybe one, it's not a perfect world, maybe one thing you may have to compromise. But if I'm able to solve 9 out of 10 problems, what price are you willing to pay for it? So am I able to provide you a solution for your problem? Yes.
To satisfy your emotions also.
In every aspect. In every aspect. Problems could be the need for a bigger space, or the need for satisfaction of having everything at one place, and it could be like your family members and everything living happy. Their happiness is your metric, right? So if it checks that metric, so if I say I'm going to provide something to you for the well-being of your family and it checks every box, what are you willing to pay for it?
A large amount.
So I would say anything, ideally, right? So if we are able to buy happiness, we would go push ourselves, right? Go to the entire limit of spending,
Correct.
investing, I would say. So the idea is there. Where is the concept of dead investment? Concept is depends upon the purpose. So after a point in time, if you're an investor, you wait for a certain period of time, you get your exit as per the market value, you're sorted. As per a home buyer, if it takes care of your needs, sorted. So where is the concept of debt investment?
Got it. Understood.
And business always is cyclical, right? Seasonal. So as good as it is, you need to know when to enter the investment.
Fluctuations అయితే ఎలా అయినా ఉంటాయి.
And you also need to know when to exit the investment. So this whole concept of being a dead investment is just plain loose talk and perception. So I respect whoever has said that, but my opinion is that you need to know when to enter, you need to know when to exit.
Got it. ఓకే, ఒక రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ బిజినెస్ స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం అనుకునే వాళ్ళకి, ఆర్ ఫర్ సంబడి హూ ఇస్ అస్పైరింగ్ టు కమ్ ఇన్ టు రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ బిజినెస్, సో వాట్ మీరు ఏం చెప్తారు వాళ్ళకి? వాట్ ఈస్ ద అడ్వైస్ దట్ యు గివ్ టు దెమ్?
Contact me. Call me. Talk to me.
అవునా? హౌ డు వి కాంటాక్ట్ వాళ్ళకి ఒకసారి చెప్పండి, ఎలా ఏంటి కూడా చెప్తే మనకి.
You just type my name online on jokes apart, rajivwilliams.com. However, but see, real estate doesn't have an entry barrier, right? It's not like you're passing the bar exam to become a lawyer. It's not like you're writing your MBBS to get it become a doctor. But it is very essential for you to understand that you have to be customer centric. You see, you can't be a bad person and be a good professional, right? Especially in a business where we are selling trust and credibility, you have to be a good person. That's a check, no doubt about it. I mean, yeah, you can glorify Arjun Reddy where he drinks and gets into an operation theater, but in real life it doesn't work like that, right? So you have to be a good person, clean intentions, be customer centric, talk sense, don't inflate or speak lies, build credibility, and people will eventually see through it. You can't bullshit your way through life. Like you can do it through a certain amount of time. Like so they say, right, you can fool some of the people all of the time, you can fool all of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. So if you want to be a professional or specialist at anything, you first have to have a very clear intent, a very clear and strong intent, right? And you have to have an aspiration to be able to see yourself do something for yourself, your community, your society, your family, your country, to be able to give back.
So if you're not able to gain the trust of the client and gain the credibility,
Yeah, obviously, you have to be having very clear intentions, a very clear aspiration, an end goal, and what you want as an outcome of that task or indulgence or communication. When you have the end goal in sight, your entire manifestation process and your ability to it aligns. Correct. Right? There's this very beautiful saying that says, believe you deserve it and the universe will serve it, right? So if you believe that you want to help someone do something, get them out of their misery, solve their problems, and if you do it with a very clear intent, with all these other things that I mentioned, knowledge, communication, action, and all of that, I think there's very low margin of error for you to not succeed. And the whole eventuality of this thing is that You need to be able to find yourself a right person, a goal, uh, someone who can set a goal for you, like a mentor. I'm not talking about myself, but you need someone like that because this is the era of digital noise, right? Yeah. So again, if I would say, Chat GPT cannot be that mentor. AI cannot be that mentor. You need a physical person with whom you can sit and discuss your insecurities, your challenges, your weak points, and then pave a path for yourself. Do it for long enough, recheck. Do it for long enough, recheck. So I think that is what I would advise people who want to get into the real estate industry. Find yourself a mentor. Find someone who you want to be like, and eventually you will get better than them because a mentor only wants to teach and help people and see everyone do well, right? uh, we cannot have dual agendas or dual intentions. Like, I always want my team members, my staff to do better than me when they reach my age. I want to be able to inspire them, do better, outdo the previous generation, right? So every father wants his kid to do what he didn't do. It's something like that. So as a mentor, I want my team and those who I inspire, for them to do better than me. So just keep doing it. Find a mentor, learn, educate, form good habits. Don't waste your time in doom scrolling. Don't subscribe to stupid channels. What you consume, right? You are what you consume, right? It's like going to the gym. You can't just go to the gym and go out and eat crap. It's a lifestyle. So the whole ecosystem has to fall in place for you to be good at real estate, or for that matter anything else.
మీరు రన్ చేసే బిజినెసెస్ గురించి ఒకసారి చెప్తే వీ వుడ్ వాంట్ టు నో అబౌట్ ఇట్.
Okay. So I'm into real estate mentoring. So I help developers set up their sales ecosystems, as I mentioned. It involves a sales company. I have a company that specifically takes up projects for sales, and we take care of their manpower and process implementation. We mentor them with the end to end. So it's like we are responsible for the success of that project, right from hiring, training, selling, everything. And then I have another vertical. In that vertical, I do branding, advertising, marketing, lead generation, web development. So real estate ecosystem, from that time, what are the word that I'm using. So it's a combination of these things, where we first do what is required before the project goes live, and then I also hold after the project goes live. And then during this course, I also have another company that helps in vendor management, where real estate is all about aggregation. Multiple people play a role in the real estate industry. So one of the companies is Deccan Progressive Realty, another company is Design Shark, and another company is Risa. So these companies are interdependent. One feeds into the other. And all of these are specifically designed to solve the challenges of our industry. So I work with banks, I work with financial institutions, I work with printing agencies, I work with designers, I work with purchase managers, I work with vendors. So if you enter the Rajiv Williams ecosystem, you get everything real estate. So that is where I said we understand real estate like nobody else.
నైస్. మా ఆడియన్స్ మిమ్మల్ని కాంటాక్ట్ అవ్వాలంటే ఎలా అవ్వచ్చు? ఒకసారి మీది వెబ్సైట్ చెప్తే ఎలా, ఏంటి లింక్ ఒకసారి చెప్తే మేము డిస్క్రిప్షన్లో కూడా లింక్ ఇచ్చేస్తాము, సో దట్ దే కెన్ కాంటాక్ట్ యూ.
Very kind of you. Thank you so much. It is rajivwilliams.com, RAJIVWILLIAMS.com. Just look me up and I'm happy to help anyone. You can call me for advisory or any kind of help.
Sure.
And I'm here to serve, and that's all I know to do well.
Thank you. It was really nice talking to you. I would probably say this is an edu and also informative session. So yeah, it was really nice talking to you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.